turned your self-empathy and self-leadership into an empathy and leadership for others. Because, I mean, you were the catalyst behind the Post-Disaster Mental Health Response Act. And that's phenomenal because not to sound trite about it, but you basically turned garbage into gold. And I would love to hear more about that.
Well, I have to give credit where credit is due, which is my former Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley and her amazing team. So I will tell you, I am one of those people who learned early on in my career that you don't go to the boss with a question if you don't have some idea of the answer. I have a problem. Here's my idea of the solution. That may or may not end up to be the thing we do. But you don't say, solve this for me. And yet in this particular case, I called her office because at the time I was represented by her. She was my congresswoman. And she had been on the Boston City Council at the time of the bombing. And I knew that she was someone who cared very deeply about the concept of trauma and helping people recover. So I called her office and I said, look, this is my experience. We were invisible. The mental health side of things was invisible. And I have no idea what I'm asking you to do, but I'm calling because something needs to change. And her team identified what was essentially a technical issue in an existing law that when we made that change, it expanded mental health coverage for people after disasters. And I, again, talk about things that I know happened because I was there when they happened. And yet I still find difficult to believe that now there are people who may be being helped because I made this, well, not one phone call, actually many phone calls, but I made these many phone calls and found the right person, and we meshed at that moment, and what they knew they could do and what I needed matched up.
But it starts with one phone call, and you made that one phone call. You could have not. You could have just said, "Nah, I'm not feeling it today," but you did. So, credit where it's due. Courage comes in little bite-sized pieces sometimes.
Yes.
Bite-sized
pieces of, oh, I haven't heard back. Should I email? Should I call? Oh, they're busy. But somehow something saying, just call, just respond, just figure out what the next step is. Very early on, I don't know that I was consciously doing these things. It just was, I don't know what else to do. I'm doing this because it's helping, because I think this is what needs to be done. I would meet with anybody that anybody suggested was a good person for me to talk to. I a little bit felt like I was a leaf on a river. I was just going with the current, and I was going to go. And to completely mix my metaphors, I would just knock on any doors that I came upon. And if they opened, I would find out, is there something here for me? And if they didn't open, I would just keep going. And it was kind of in that spirit when I reached out to her office. I had been thwarted again and again by the city, trying to see if I could help the city become more trauma informed for the future. And for all sorts of reasons kept being turned away. And I said, well, okay, so I can't make a change in the city. What else can I do? And somehow something triggered that I could call Ayanna Pressley. And that was the right call.
But you didn't give up either. I mean, here we are talking about self-leadership again,
Yes. And I will say, though, it's so interesting to think about some of these things in retrospect, because in the moment, I didn't have that outside or meta level view of what I was doing and why. It was in that moment, I just need to do this. And I don't fully know where that came from. And it is interesting to look back and see these behaviors and realize, oh, this is evidence of my resilience. This is evidence of my, XYZ and my stick-to-itiveness and, all of those things. But in the moment, I had no recognition of those pieces of the story.